Welcome back to another episode of BS Free MD Doctales with Cocktails. And today on the menu, Tim has some crazy stories involving misplaced eggs, shall we say. And we transfer into the world of Barbie and then crazy shenanigans in the Olympics. If you're tuning into those, we got some info on how they really fly high. So let's get going.
All right, let's get going. Well, you thought that hiding Easter eggs was fun, finding Easter eggs is fun. Well, what happens when you and your husband have some fertilized eggs out of IVF clinic in Orlando, Ooh. And you accidentally find somebody else's Easter egg? I have to read the story because the way they put it is very is kind of funny. Florida couple sue fertility clinic after being implanted with wrong embryo. A couple suing a Florida fertility clinic after learning that they were implanted with the wrong embryo and are going public with their attempts to find the child's biological parents. Tiffany Score and Stephen Mills have filed a lawsuit against IVF Life Incorporated, which operates as a fertility clinic in Orlando, and its lead physician, Dr. Milton McNichol. The suit, which was initially filed under pseudonyms to protect their family's privacy, states that 3 viable embryos were created with Score's eggs and Mills' sperm, and an embryo was successfully implanted in 2025. Shortly after the birth of their daughter Shay on December 11th, Score and Mills, who are both Caucasian, noticed that the baby appeared to be a different race. This picture you have to see. It is like you have mom and dad who are Whitey Von Whiterson, and they could not have a darker skinned child.
Yeah.
And it's like this family picture is amazing because the contrast between their daughter and them is so stunning. And then it's like, the paternity studies show. I'm like, you don't need paternity studies. All you need is a mirror. I guess she could have had a dalliance with somebody else.
A weekend in Vegas, as you said.
Yes,
that's true. I mean, I would hate to think that if that happened to us, and you would demand a paternity study because you didn't trust where I had been. But who knows? I can't judge their relationship. And I suppose if somebody has ancestry going back a few generations where there might be some different colored race, like blood, or some hidden stuff, I mean, you don't even know in your own family, I'd probably want to do it too and go, what the heck? But yeah, you're right.
This is not Elizabeth Warren level of Cherokee.
Oh my God.
This is like Shaquille O'Neal's kid, all right?
That's a big oops.
Yeah, that's a big. Well, how does that happen? So it really got me thinking. How does this happen? Right? It's a fertility clinic. So you go in there, they do the IVF thing, and then they have to hold a bunch of frozen embryos, right? Mm-hmm. And then they implant usually 2 or 3, and hope one takes root.
Right.
And then, you would think the chain of custody of like in labs, just taking simple labs in an office. You double, triple check the thing. When you go in for a knee surgery, they write this knee, not this knee. They ask you before you get anesthesia. They ask you when they wheel you in the room. It's over and over and over again. It's the amount of redundancy is crazy. And I'm like, so what do? Do they have
how many samples do they have that they can mix them up?
Just a big steamy pile, and you just shove your hand in and hope for the best. What's the deal there?
I don't know how
how could that possibly be?
I don't know how you'd mix up those samples. You're right. Exactly. When you're getting your blood drawn, and I go in there, and there's stacks of people's tubes that are all lined up for whatever. I mean, you got to label those things right away. That's a big oops.
Well, so now
now what do you do?
Well, right, because they wanted to do the genetic stuff because they want to know who the actual genetic parents are, right? They really want to kind of reach out to these people. They want to be compensated because of the emotional trauma or whatever, but they love their daughter and they're going to keep her. Is what it sounds. I mean, it's not like they're giving her back.
But
do they trade? Like, what if the black couple had the like?
Yeah.
Do they just kind of meet in an alley and do a trade like a hostage thing?
No.
It's like, sweetie, walk to the end of the alley.
Do we know that it was both a sperm and egg or from another donor, or is it just the sperm donor?
No, I think that's pretty obviously completely somebody different child. So then you were essentially a surrogate for another. Well, not essentially.
Right.
You were a surrogate for another
Right.
family.
That's they'll
I
be
mean,
interesting
legally, like, what does it mean to be? What does genetics mean legally? Like, is it genetics, or is it the fact that you harbored this child in your body for the better part of a year?
There's
a ton of legal theory in here that no one knows.
I know, but there's a lot of people that are surrogates, deliver the baby. It's not theirs. They can give it up back to, So I'm thinking they would recognize right away that this is not their child, clearly not the father, and you think that it'd be okay with providing it or giving it back to its rightful parents, so to speak. Interesting.
I don't know.
Or can they even I'm sure they can track down who it is. Wow, that's a lot.
Well, they should be able to track down. It should be super easy. Like, genetically, you take a buccal sample from the kid.
Yeah, no, they'll know.
And then it's like, who did you have coming? Unless what? Like, are they collecting IVF samples, like transferring them around the country? Like, assuming it all happened in that clinic, which is what you should assume. They know who everybody is.
Think of all the stories people have heard, and we know cases where someone is a donor just because, they're selling their eggs or
they
sperm.
They should be called boner donors.
Stupid.
That's what I think.
There's egg donors too. What are you going to call them? Think about it. Anyway,
yeah, don't.
Where they're donating, just like
right.
you're donating plasma or blood for money, and they are probably anonymous. What if they can't track it? I mean, I'm sure there's a way, but what if they don't want it back? Because you're like a 20-year-old med student that doesn't want a child. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't. Well, like the case in Oregon with. I actually practiced in the same clinic for a little. Like, I did a locum for this clinic, and this guy
big case
had, back in the 70s, when he was a med student, donated sperm numerous times, and they said, yeah, this will all go to the other side of the country. And all of a sudden, these kids meet each other at church
and school,
and they're like, this is weird. We have all this stuff in common, and they do the 23andMe, and this guy had like. His actual family had half siblings all over the same town.
Yeah, I heard it was started with somebody doing the 23andMe's, the way they tracked it down, and then it kept going from there. But so maybe it's a case of something like that too. Who knows? We'll have to see how it plays out.
Really, really crazy. Well, we're not lawyers. We'll see how this plays out. It'll be interesting because I think the legal stuff is super fascinating to me.
Wow.
Okay, so
what's next?
Next story. Mattel adds an Autistic Barbie to a doll line devoted to showcasing diversity and inclusion. Okay, the interesting part is the Autistic Barbie comes with autistic accessories.
What may those be?
What, pray tell, would those be? Well, she has noise-canceling headphones, so it downgrades the stimulation. She has a fidget spinner, and she has a augmented communication iPad that some autistic people do. Uh-huh. And then she has articulated elbows and wrists.
What?
So that she can stim.
No, stop it.
Yes,
you're making that up.
I am not making that up. It is in the article, and if you look at this Barbie compared to the other Barbies that have the rigid like arms in, this one is articulated here so it can stim. Dead air. That's bad. I have a but wait. But wait.
I saw this actually.
More.
I sent him this clip because I saw this commercial on TV when I was in Canada, of all places. I don't know where it originated from, and I couldn't believe it. But then it goes, you're right, there's more because this isn't the first
There's
Barbie.
vitiligo Barbie.
Yes.
There's type 1 diabetic Barbie, which comes with I don't know, like insulin syringes or something like that. I don't know, maybe you could recreate the Klaus von Bülow murder with your insulin from your insulin Barbie. And then there's my favorite, which is the Down syndrome Barbie, which I actually think from an inclusion perspective, that's kind of cool. Because if you had a Down syndrome sister, then, you can kind of,
Right. Right.
And they named that one Retarbie. But
That's terrible.
I won't say Retarbie again. It's really bad.
That's terrible. Take that.
So, okay, take that back, but not really.
Well, and then I know that they have like a paraplegic Barbie in a wheel.
Yeah, that was just us playing with G.I. Joes in 1972 and you ripped the leg off.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, that was not. Well, what's next? Like, are they going to have PTSD G.I. Joe?
Probably.
He comes with a little brown paper bag full of Oxy and Valium and an empty bottle of Jack Daniels.
I mean, I get the
Then you get the Sean Ryan G.I. Joe. Oh, do I brigade?
It's like,
Like saved my life.
They start with trying to like be inclusive of some stuff, and then the slippery slope just keeps going. Maybe they need teenage pregnancy Barbie.
Didn't they already do that?
Probably. I don't know. I never saw a pregnant Barbie. When I was growing up, there was never pregnant Barbie stuff. Just Barbie.
Well, she lacks the accoutrement
Yes,
for which to have a child.
That's true. Yes.
Did you know there is a group of people in the trans world that go to doctors, and I think it's actually been done, where they want Barbie genitalia. They want nothing.
I think I've heard that. Because I know I heard.
You should go to jail for the rest of your life if you're a doctor that does that. Like, I don't mean like a little jail, like straight to jail.
Look at some of these people's faces. They want to look like, I've seen there's a couple of people, a couple of women. I haven't seen a Ken guy, but I've seen that woman that wants to look like Barbie. So she's got the plasticky face, the hair, the lips, the boobs.
Well, it's the same. Like, who's the surgeon?
But what, are they going to just sew up her vagina?
Who's the surgeon that puts a 1,500 cc breast implant into a woman that's 5'2"?
Right. Well, Dolly Parton.
Like, who makes that? Like, there's actually like a scientific company like Dow Corning has to actually make that implant.
It's nuts, right?
Like, it's crazy. Like that some of this stuff exists. It's like we have so lost our way as a profession. It's crazy.
I said this before on the show a long time ago, but I always said that like the world's getting closer and closer to like the Hunger Games, where you have like that whole city of people. You haven't watched Hunger Games, so now you need to. But where they all, half of them, they look like animals, and they literally like have those, what do you call them, furries, where they have the tails and the ears, and then with all the plastic surgery and all the fish lip people and the plastic faces, and now the world is a wacky place.
Yeah, but I can't somehow. Saying the word Retarbie is a bridge too far.
Maybe some people identify as Barbie and they want to change their appearance.
Well, they do though. Like,
you can identify as Ken.
But it's so. I smell a psyop with Autistic Barbie. See, Down's Barbie, I think that's cool. I think that is reaching out because that's a well-defined, medical syndrome. People have, look, if you've ever spent any time around a Down syndrome person, they are some of the most delightful people. They're filled with, we could learn so much about joy and spontaneity and all of these things. One of my former partners had a Down son who came into the office, and he lit the entire place up. Like, it was so, every time he came around, it was fun, right? But I smell a psyop in the autism thing, and I wrote a Substack about it called, neurodiversity. And once you can connect the dots. Once it's neurodiversity and it's the spectrum, somehow the same people that are promoting all of this autism awareness and all of this, autism that, are the exact same group of people politically that are ignoring the unbelievable increase in severely autistic, nonverbal, head-banging, totally disabled children. So they ignore that, but they want to give you neurodiverse Barbie or, the kid, Caleb, whatever his name was on American Idol 10 years ago, who's got like whatever, he's on the spectrum. It's like when everyone's on the spectrum, no one's on the spectrum. Okay.
Well, even I don't get the normal, all these disease processes, making that into a Barbie normalizing, like vitiligo Barbie and type 1 diabetes. I mean, what about asthma Barbie with an inhaler, or, I don't know, pick your thing. Like, it's kind of, like, when does it end? It's kind of silly, right?
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, like well, it doesn't end, because but here's what I think
Barbie?
it's, but look at the psyop. Look at what happened with Minnesota, okay? With the Leering Center. Mm-hmm. Okay, what was one of the hallmarks of the Leering Center? It was having disabled children, educating disabled children. Because as soon as you add the disabilities, you add more money flowing into those systems.
Right.
So you want, if you're in the grifting business, trying to suck federal and state money into your BS operation, you need more disabled kids. So yes, part of the autism explosion is different diagnosis. There's no question. It's the same thing with diabetics. We changed the number, the how high your blood glucose had to be,
right,
and that altered the amount of diabetics. We made, neurodiversity. Well, what's neurodiversity? Like, nobody can be a weirdo, like, without a diagnosis, because as soon as you have a diagnosis, the money train starts flowing. Money. There's treatment, there's therapies, there's potential drug treatments, there's extra teaching aids in school. Like, I saw this almost 35 years ago, where they would bring in this piece of paper and you'd have to sign it, does this child have a disability? And I'm like, why do I have to sign that? Well, because if they have a disability, then they get a teacher's aid. Or then the mother gets money to take care of a disabled, because now they're a caregiver. They're a state caregiver. So parents in the state of Oregon were getting paid to take care of their children if they got a diagnosis, when they would be taking care of them anyways, because they're the parents.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly.
So there is a whole grift in the psyop. Probably.
Well.
But again, the giveaway is the same people that are autism awareness. We just, we don't need. They literally in one breath say we need more awareness, but we don't need to know where the diagnosis is coming from, because these are wonderful people that we just integrate into society. And I'm like, sure. If you're the American Idol kid with Asperger's, sure. But you are absolutely crapping on all of these families with children that are so profoundly disabled that they'll never not be in long-term care.
Right.
That is wicked.
It is. Well, all I can say is maybe they'll make a hip replacement Barbie and I can buy one.
It'd have 2 little scars on that.
Scars? I want her to have the titanium hips.
You could do that. You could take it apart,
That's right. Stick the magnetic part on the fridge. All right, what else you got? Well, we are glued to the TV right now, actually.
We do like the Olympics.
With the Olympics being on.
And we like the Winter Olympics.
And Tim, of course, that's your favorite Olympics because of all the winter sports. Mine is curling and the figure skating. Go figure.
Well, the thing I like about the Winter Olympics is I've always been fond of sports that are potentially lethal. And there's not that many in the Summer Olympics. I mean, I guess if you were doing like shot put while someone was javelining, that would be bad.
Lethal. Well, I guess you could get dehidrated or a heat stroke from the marathon or something.
Bike and get killed.
True.
But nothing is like how you can die at 85 miles an hour on a freaking luge.
Oh, I know.
And then like the 2-man luge, I mean, they go like over 80 miles an hour.
Well, even downhill skiing.
And it's what a great way to die. Right? What a great way to die. You're whipping down the luge track at 80 miles an hour with a fat guy laying on top of you, and you both come careening off into the things. It's like
flying over the edge. Well, they killed somebody. What year was that?
That was in Vancouver.
Yes.
Yeah, they had to change the track because no one could navigate it.
Yeah.
They
actually killed somebody.
You got all wrapped around poles and so forth.
Ski jumping.
Speaking of poles, we're moving on to, are ski jumpers enhancing their penises to fly further?
An extra wing? Pray tell. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe this story when you told me.
Okay, so this story, like when you actually dig into this is wild because it is brilliant.
I knew that athletes would do crazy things to advance their potential and career and we, there's the whole drugs, doping, steroid thing, but this is just ridiculous.
Claims were originally reported in a German newspaper in January on the eve of the latest Winter Olympics, beginning in Italy and subsequently addressed by the World Doping WADA, World Anti-Doping Agency. So far, so lurid. There is science behind the allegations. Injecting the penis with acid, hyaluronic acid, it's not like battery acid, would increase its size. And actually, they weren't really increased. It was girth that they needed. To give ski jumpers bigger genitalia at the point that their suits are measured by 3D scanners. So they have to get into these suits and they have to be 3D scanned, or their body's 3D scanned, and then they make the suit so that it's fair for everyone.
Right.
So, but here's where it's like, I cannot believe that this is true. Every 2 centimeters change in the suit, if the suit is 2 centimeters bigger, represents an extra 5.8 meters in jumping distance.
That's astronomically exponential. That's.
But they're going way over 60 miles an hour, like on the big jump.
Yep.
They're going 150 meters or whatever. Like they're flying really far, right? And those suits are almost like kind of wetsuity material, like really stiff. Like they're like a wingsuit without wings. So even if you get a little bit more, especially in between your legs,
right,
you're adding like kind of the squirrel suit idea.
Right. You're like a flying bat with.
And if you only need 2 centimeters,
that's, I don't know, 2 centimeters is a fair amount.
It's okay. 2 centimeters, that much cloth equals 5.8 meters.
That's nuts. So there's what, 2.5 centimeters in an inch. So
that's like 20.
Not quite
that's more
an
than
inch.
25. That's 25 feet or more than 25 feet.
Right.
For 2 centimeters.
What, less than an inch.
Give them an inch, and they'll take a mile.
Holy cow!
Apparently.
And so I can't imagine. So they were really doing this in what, worlds, or how did they figure this out?
Allegations.
How did they get caught? Is what I want to know.
Well, since you've been deciding whether or not you're going to go back into patient care, I thought that maybe this could be your new job.
Injecting?
No, you could be the official WADA unit measuring service.
Yes.
Just think of that. You could be the package police for the Olympics.
No.
Instead of a songstress, you could be the shlongstress, making sure that.
I'll just
it
pass.
would be, but it's such a great cheat.
I'll just pass.
It's such a great cheat. Like in NASCAR, there's templates, right? Like the car has to be a certain size and shape and has to be a certain amount off the ground. And they measure it, and then they have a template, and it has to fit on the car. And if it doesn't fit on the car,
your
there's no
carry-on bag.
There's no template for your Johnson.
Well, no, because everybody's is different
it
anyways.
Changes in size. It's like, I'm sorry, when I was measured, it was very warm outside.
That's
right. So you never want to be scanned for your suit when it's cold.
They got to accommodate for shrinkage.
That's exactly correct.
And I guess some people have a lot of shrinkage.
Well, you never know. And then it's like, are there racial differences in ski jumping?
Oh my gosh.
I'm just saying.
Maybe
I'm just saying. My job is to say what everyone is already thinking.
He needs to research that for his next Substack, and then let you all know.
The biggest advantage in ski jumping is to be like 6'9" and 100 pounds. Like you want to be a feather, right? So and it's a delicate balance, because if you're super, super light, you don't go as fast off the jump.
Well, that's what I was going to think.
But if you're heavy,
you need more mass.
Like in skydiving, we always said, fatties fall fast, right? Like if you're heavy, you do fall faster. Like there's no question. Like there's people that you jump with like small women. They have to wear weights to keep up with the rest of the group. Mm-hmm. So there's this balance, and apparently there was an eating disorder problem in the international ski jumping world, because these guys wanted to be literally like 6'2", 6'3", and 140 pounds.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like an equation to figure out how much mass is ideal versus your height for distance.
Because you need some mass for speed.
Right.
But then once you're in the air, you want to be a feather.
Right.
Basically, right?
Other than your large unit.
Yes. Circumcised, uncircumcised.
I don't
know. Is that, does that matter? It's like a wingsuit versus.
Did we talk about this before? Because you were sharing it last night with our friend about the big. Tell them about the documentary called Icarus, about the big bust in the Sochi Olympics.
Yeah, Icarus is about the 2014 Sochi Olympics. This guy starts doping just for fun to see if he can increase his cycling, speeds. and then he gets
Doping
a
for
hold
fun. So he starts experimenting
on
with,
himself.
Right, with
And then-
drugs and steroids.
Right, and then he goes down the doping rabbit hole, and then he finds the king of doping, who's this Russian guy, and how the entire Sochi Olympics was corrupted. The Russian doping center had like secret passageways and all this stuff, so that, you know, because Putin's like, we're going to win. I mean, they're winning awards. They're like, wow, the Russians have never won
I
a cross-country
remember that.
skiing medal ever in the world, and now they're 1, 2, 3 on the podium kind of thing. So yes,
I remember that
It's just
Olympics, and
cheating.
people, the commentators, like, what's happening? How are they winning all of this? Something's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
And it
think
was
that's
all- it was
why
all
they're
set-
still not competing.
yeah. I'm not sure if it's the war or if it's the.
I don't know. We'll have to research
I'll
that.
have to double check on
and
that
look.
one.
But fascinating stuff in the Olympics, and of course the horrible crash by Lindsey Vonn, which is medical sad news.
Yeah, but you know, she was super classy. She came out
Oh,
and
yeah,
she's like,
absolutely.
you know, you don't win at this kind of stuff unless you're willing to like hurt yourself, basically.
Oh, she's right.
And she dared to go big, and she was really thankful, and she was really cool, as opposed to Hunter Hess, the douchey woke guy from Bend, Oregon, who I actually spent half an hour talking to his dad one year when the kids were competing in that pond skimming. You know, of course, Hunter wins. He's a great skier.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why does everything have to be politics? Why can't you just shut up and say, you know, I'm really proud to represent the United States. It's awesome.
Apparently he's not. Apparently he's not proud to represent.
But they start talking and you go, okay, this guy's really dumb. It's really clear to me that all he does is ski.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what you think, because I don't think you think.
Just go ski.
So just, shut up and ski.
Anyway, we'll see if any big stories that we think are worthy
Come out
out of this, and we'll bring them to you next time.
At least the opening ceremonies wasn't ridiculous.
It was I
kind
thought
of
it was a little boring, but at least it wasn't like France. That was just over the top. Oh, and this episode of Doctales with Cocktails is brought to you by
Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons.
I'm actually drinking
in
coffee
the neighborhood.
Today. We live 2 miles away from the only Tim Hortons
in Florida.
The only one. And it's blowing up. They're super busy. They do have, their donuts are really actually amazing. And the coffee's not bad. It's pretty good. It's so highly recommend.
Is that an ice cap?
No, I can't do that. It's like the ice cap. I have to get the kit from the insulin, dependent diabetic Barbie. It's so much sugar in it, but it is interesting. But they have a big painting of Tim Horton in there, and every time I hear it, like I guess it's just the way my brain goes. He was killed in a single vehicle accident in 1973, going like way over 100 miles an hour on an empty freeway in a Di Tommaso Pantera. And when they did the investigation, they found an empty vodka bottle, I think bottles of opiates and barbiturates.
So let's open up a coffee shop in his name.
So so you always got time for, so every time I think of the pills, it just makes me wonder what the sprinkles are on the donut.
Maybe
that's why it's so popular.
Maybe you want to be picking them up.
Can I have the barbiturate-filled cruller, please? Please?
All right. I think you've had enough coffee.
Man, I'm better on booze than coffee, I think. Seriously,
Oh, man. Well, let us know your thoughts. We've been getting some great emails from you guys. Keep writing and send in your comments to doc@bsfreemd.com. And please share this episode. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, Rumble, and
And the Substack.
the Substack.
Because we're going to write more, because we like doing that, and we get a lot of feedback on the Substack. So.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right. Till next time, cheers, and we'll see you on the other side.